to the foxhole at Foxxo Esoterica. I promise I was sober when I wrote this. Welcome back to Foxxo Esoterica, the podcast where actually last week I had my boyfriend watch Hereditary, and it didn't take him a day till he bought The Lesser Key of Solomon in physical copy. So who's to say if I'm not actually a very enchanting witch? Probably I am. Does help that we also watched The Witch. I do love A24 movies. But all of this is fluff and nonsense. Let's talk about ghosts. Indeed. I have hinted on it a bit. I'm also not working with a script right now, so that's why I'm going to be stuttering and not using my words. However, this is the episode that I've been hinting at for a while, and it is indeed our personal, in-person investigation of a haunted site. This time at Hell's Bridge in Algoma Township in Michigan, up near Grand Rapids, a bit north of it, kind of close to Sparta. I have mentioned for the Dog Man podcast. But yes, this is an in-person investigation, and it's not the first one we did technically, because for the very first episode, my brother and I went to the Glowing Tombstone. But this one is longer and better, and I had to drive more than 10 minutes for it, so I'm excited about it. I also did spoil a little bit in the last episode that I put out, the Lake Baikal episode, but indeed, we did not find anything at Hell's Bridge. Or at least anything that would get me any money if I were to go to a news source and be like, look, I found ghosts and they're real. This one, to spoil the whole podcast, is a bust, in my entire opinion. But, you know, we do have some interesting discussions and funny jokes, if you can call it funny, because sometimes maybe it's funny. Like, I do comedy. Anyway, let's finish up the housekeeping. I don't actually have too much, but I did want to point out that at the end of the nonsense that you're about to see, that involved alcohol, despite this being a New Moon episode, I will actually save sober stories for the end. In fact, it's been hinted at for a couple of other episodes, but the Dogman incident and the Thelma at the Civic incident are indeed not my only ghost stories. So, off script, at the end of this episode, after the discussion, it is on the shorter side, after all, I will be talking about a couple more ghost stories, just all by myself. Here I am, sober. Quite literally, actually, right now, because of the way I'm editing this. I'm going to record in 5 seconds, so hopefully that'll pique your interest if you're not here for the drunken shenanigans, and in fact, I'll have like a timestamp here. Woo! 1 hour, 9 minutes, 56 seconds. Yeah, that makes sense. I'll edit it in post. So if you don't want to hear any debauchery and just want to hear some good old-fashioned ghost stories, that's the time you'll want to go to. But without further ado, let's jump right in. Welcome to Foxxo Esoterica. First in-person investigation. That's a lie. We went to a cemetery once.
Yeah.
I have my siblings here, Maegan and Alex.
It's the first one again.
Woo!
Did you guys actually, like,
I found a
when you were
balloon.
in the cemetery? Because I only remember you guys being in the car and making Patrick Warburger impressions.
I think a little bit. It was like 1/4 of the recordings we took were in the cemetery.
Oh, okay.
This one's gonna be cool though, because this is gonna also have an accompanying YouTube video once I finally fucking feel like video editing. But we haven't gone yet. I have something in my eye.
We're not going.
Yeah, we're gonna
pretend.
pretend.
We canceled.
The episode's canceled.
I'm kidding. We are going.
Megan's going all by herself.
Yay.
Hopefully
I will be a ghost too.
No.
Okay.
All of
that's too dark.
No, it's fine. You're fine. All of the jokes are going to be the same ones that we did when Maegan and I recorded the Yoshi Shiratori episode, because that was 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And this month is when we're going to put this episode out next month. So I'll be a new person by the time I'm editing this.
Sorry.
Are there any jokes?
There's
jokes.
We're not dead serious all the time?
Dead serious? Segue. We're gonna study a ghost.
We're gonna study a dead guy who died and is dead and is a dead guy.
But this is just to give you guys the premise about where we're going and the audience also, but we're gonna talk about it more. So I'm gonna say this whole script I wrote out as quickly as possible. Ready? Welcome back to Foxxo Esoterica, the podcast that is slowly yet lucratively becoming a monster/cryptid dating app. I'm your host for City Fox, the effervescent foxwitch who isn't quite sure what the word effervescent means, but has a feeling it's a compliment. For this month's New Moon episode, my siblings Maegan and Alex and I are going to Hell's Bridge in person in Algoma Township, Michigan, to investigate a haunting, parentheses very poorly. Audio recording from the excursion will be spliced into our discussion on the adventure, which will pertain... No, I'm just going to do the camera and then we're going to talk about it. There will be no splicing.
Okay.
I'm lazy.
How are people gonna figure out when you cheat on your speed runs?
No. I'm not. Is that like didn't a man do that in?
Yeah, people splice their speed runs all the time to cut out loadings and shit, and people catch it because they're not stupid.
Well, speaking of speed running and catching these hands, which will pertain to a backstory, hauntings, etc.
Speed run to the end of our lives.
I'm talking.
We're gonna be ghosts on the ghost bridge.
No, I'm talking.
Human life, any percent glitchless.
I'm writing this part before we head out there, so who's to say if we'll pick up anything?
Section 2,
But-
writer's notes.
Get a motherfucking EMF meter. I did. Okay, so for this episode, I'm going to keep the backstory / information briefish. And by that,
Backstory.
I mean I'm not going to be reading a book. This is one of those sort of urban legends, semicolon, the sort that circle around a location but have a 99% fabricated backstory involving murdering, making out couples, or children experimenting and stuff.
I
Yes?
feel like you're talking in caps
You need
lock,
to
and it's a lot right now to
slow
take in.
I
So
can
can you, like, calm down?
I can make it quiet, but I refuse to calm down.
Well, then your viewers are not gonna enjoy it.
You just gotta put a little more
Yeah, make it a
inflection
little
in your...
more- make it a little
in your
softer.
speech. I don't
Make
think
it
I'll
Okay,
allow you
a
all.
little italics, caps locks,
No, if
Caps
it's in
lock,
italics,
bold
then you're
italics.
exasperated.
underline, italics,
Aaron,
cap
I
lops,
want to sound like you
wingdings.
just ran out of marathon.
Experiment. What was I even saying? The youngsters
Oh,
dare each other
okay.
to climb into the basement. Okay. It's one of those legends. I know what I'm saying. No, shush. It's one of those legends where, like, it's an urban legend, so, like, the actual backstory kind of sucks, but it's, like, a segue into being like, go into the basement,
We're
you
going to some
nerd.
guy's basement?
Cross the Devil's Bridge.
I didn't agree to that.
No, it's not. It's not a. It's a bridge. It's a bridge. It's just something. An example. An example of what this would be.
We'll just keep going. We're on
Like, you cross the bridge, go into the basement, like that sort of thing.
Out of the bridge and into the frying pan.
into the-
bridge,
into the basement. I'm falling. Okay, so I have the computer set up on a
Off the
table in the
bridge.
middle of a room. None of us are sitting in chairs.
I'm sitting in a chair.
Megan is completely sitting in a chair.
If you can't hear Megan, it's because she's 3 miles away from the mic.
No, you'll probably hear me.
Okay, this location wasn't. I skipped up. I used a lot of words to describe a fairly ubiquitous thing, but Hookman / Bunnyman / Slenderman things. Think that avenue. Yeah, the Virginia Bunnyman, a scary one.
What?
A scary one.
No, bunnies are sweet.
Science?
I'll do an episode on Bunnyman.
Oh my
think
gosh,
so.
that's so exciting.
This location wasn't close enough to where I grew up to actually pull in anyone from my high school. Like, none of us talked about it. I just had to find it online. It's a bit over an hour out, but it did pop up on a dozen paranormal stories that I routinely look up. The closest one to me would probably be the Glowing Tombstone, which we did. Bada boom. Anyway, the Hell's Bridge is in Algoma Township, Michigan, just north of Grand Rapids. It crosses over the Rouge River and is just at the intersection of 12 Mile Road and Fisk's Road. And by that I mean Frisk's Road. I could describe it more, but we're going in person, so we'll probably have a better idea when we actually get there.
Sick Undertale
Use your
reference.
eyes, dumbass.
Comic Sans, italics, underline.
Papyrus.
The legend involves a man who never showed up. That's how Sans
That's
talks
bold.
in my head.
Yeah.
This legend involves a man who never showed up on any census ever, Elias Frisk, according to an article by John Robinson. Oh, I have sources. Haunted Michigan Hell's Bridge, Algoma Township by John Robinson on 99.1 WFMK's website, and also there's a story on Michigan's Other Side about it with a few reader submissions, but I couldn't find any names attached to it, and of course, Weird Michigan by Linda Godfrey. Linda Godfrey.
Who?
Linda Godfrey. You all fucking know who Linda Godfrey is. I swear to the Lord, Linda Godfrey
Yeah, I was
herself.
gonna say,
Back to the
Backstreet
backstory.
you
Boys.
should invite Linda Godfrey to your wedding.
I'm gonna.
Linda Godfrey, if you're listening, Aaron plans on getting married soon. So if you can, like, hop on over and officiate the wedding, that would be pretty sick.
And when I say getting married soon, it's more of a once Lucas gets here and we get a civil ceremony, so we don't have to.
Is this Lucas's first mention on the pod?
No. Oh my God, no. Once I go there, actually, in the future episode spoilers. Whoa.
Spoilers.
Once I go into
Hold up! If you don't want to hear these spoilers, skip to a couple minutes in the future.
maybe like 5 seconds.
Maybe 5 seconds.
Once I go to Germany in July, if like I get it to work, we're gonna do an episode. It's gonna be
so
Edmund
nice.
Fitzgerald. You can listen again. Edmund
What?
Fitzgerald, the ghost. You can listen again now for real.
You can listen now. Did you hear that?
Elias Frisks.
Making
This is back to
sure.
the backstory. Oh God, there's so many words. I thought this was gonna be short. Elias Frisks, 19th century. A bunch of kids went missing in the town, so the townies all got a crew to round it up for a search party and left their kids with a man, Elias Frisks, who, spoiler alert, murdered the first batch of kids.
Oh.
He ties them up to keep them together and then led them to the woods anyway, and then they smelled rotting flesh and then they screamed, uh-oh, talk about a snitch. Frisk, assuming the party would be on their way to find him immediately, murdered all the kids and dumped them in the river.
So wait. Sorry, I'm intercepting.
Yeah,
They smelled rotting flesh.
yeah.
They're not the first bunch of kids that went missing.
They smelled the first batch of kids. This is group 2.
This is
Version
Alex,
2.0.
This is exactly how the story went last time. Aaron will say something, then I'll ask a question that's completely something he just said, because I'll miss it.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm talking
Okay,
really
here's a
quickly.
question real quick.
God, none of this is real. What?
So what's the hotel we're going to?
Yeah, what's the hotel
No!
we're going to?
I texted these assholes that were going to a bridge, and both of them somehow read the word hotel somehow.
You didn't even say bridge, you said place.
Okay, that's a good fair point, but my point
But no,
stands.
we're still, our point is
All
still
of us
we're
are
not.
stupid.
Yeah.
And my point is,
And in Alex's defense, I was the one that told him hotel, so he probably was just like, yeah, okay, that's where we're going.
Yeah, no, it's a bridge.
So it's my fault.
We might do a hotel later. Like, it's a really easy place to investigate. You just gotta pay for it.
haunted boat.
For the
Haunted
like
boat!
a haunted boat going into the water for the
Going
first
to
time.
Edmund Fitzgerald.
This is
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers. Edmund Fitzgerald sank.
I'm gonna get my diver gear and dive down to find
But
this
it's-
Edmund Fitzgerald.
Bring a
The
coat.
cold.
Bring a coat.
Brr.
Bring in some hand warmies.
I'll go in the
Bah.
summer.
Anyway, kids drowned in the river.
What?
Hours later, when the townies found
Wait,
Frisk,
I'm
he was
sorry.
covered in blood.
How'd he kill them? Did he drown them?
Well, he probably stabbed them and then drowned. Like, he's just like,
Stabbed, then drowned.
make sure.
To death.
It didn't actually happen.
Sorry.
He
I
was
listened
covered
to
in
the
blood and babbled about how the devil made him do it. And so the town lynched the man, hanging him off the bridge, but it's a stone bridge because it was later replaced by a steel bridge that probably is like 1 foot above the river.
Nice.
From what
I'll
the
just-
pictures tell me, but we'll be there, so. He washed away into the river and his body was never found. Boom, haunting quote from Robinson because he wrote it better. To this day, it's said that evil forces that influenced Frisk still inhabit the area. You can see the faces of the murdered children under the water from time to time, and you can hear the devil laughing in the wood if you're there at midnight, which we won't be because it's just busy.
Yeah, I sleep at midnight.
Yeah,
so.
glowing red eyes have been
What's
seen in
that
the
look
woods
for?
and on the bridge. Oh yeah, it's like 3:33 right now, and we're just gonna go there now. I don't care about the nighttime.
Ghosts
care
can be
about
there at
the
night. Ghosts
nighttime.
can be there in the day. That's
It's
all
a-
I say.
It's also like if we're gonna have to record afterwards and get drunk, we're gonna get back at 1, and I just have a thing about getting drunk past midnight because I'm just gonna have 1 drink and then go to bed.
Yeah.
Because I'm an old man.
Yep.
Along with the sounds of screams and laughing, you hear young children. Tubers claim they see unseen hands that pull them into the river. This is obviously, I'm incredulous about this because none of this information ever showed up on a census or a newspaper, and I'm gonna say it didn't happen. Didn't happen.
I guess
That
we'll find out.
that being said, people report things. A majority of the content online involve. Oh, I'm gonna actually not be incredulous because this is what people say. They feel voices. They hear cold chills. Children pulling at you. The bridge itself is shaking. So there's definitely like something to it. But that's what the discussion's for. I did find a few gripping stories though. A group of 3 met up to investigating, meeting up with whatever. An additional 6 people. They had arrived around 5 minutes to midnight.
They had arrived.
Fog was rising from the river. The air was thick with crickets. As soon as someone said it was midnight, the whole party heard an ominous laughing in the woods. Undeterred, 4 of the members decided to cross the bridge, and that's when they saw someone walking on the water, followed by the sounds of children whimpering. One person even reported seeing a child's body in the river. The second group dashed off, but the original 3 decided to investigate once more. As soon as they got to the bridge, they saw 2 more children walking that way towards them, holding a rope, and with that, they ran off for real. Another group of paranormal investigators set up audio recorders and cameras and waited. I'm just going quickly. We're going to discuss this later, I promise.
That's okay.
Over the course of a few hours, they got increasingly colder and colder, feeling odd with a greater intensity that they had to leave. They returned to the car and reviewed the footage, noticing a plethora of odd noises, such as a child crying, a little girl crying, and an odd growl, dog man, none of which anyone ever heard in person.
Now I know why we're going. Aaron wants to fuck the dog man again.
I'm not gonna do it around y'all. What the?
Now I know you'll be like, oh, I just have to use the bathroom.
I saw a
before we
few
go and wander
EVPs,
off.
but they were the sloppiest, most unintelligible thing, and when I say saw, I mean saw.
I mean heard. EVPs are electronic voice phenomenon. I'm not going to be bringing a recorder because I don't own one, but I will be bringing 2 cameras.
That's what we're dealing with. Discuss can start.
Oh yeah, what are
Okay,
you guys'
so
opinions?
Okay, so more exciting. What do you guys think is going to happen tonight?
I think we're gonna...
Oh, we're bringing a Ouija board, a little EMF. We're bringing a pendulum, candles. We're not gonna piss off the ghost.
Newton's
We're bringing
cradle,
candles?
thermostat,
Why not? I feel like I gotta bring a candle.
No.
magnets,
Why?
dowsing
Of
Of
machine.
all the things,
Forest fires.
I literally am an avid
Radio.
outdoorsman.
Yeah, but then people are going to think we're weird.
Yeah, that's the
Chakras.
point. We're ghost hunting.
At least make it like a good smelling.
Couple of rocks.
If they're gonna be scentless.
I'm excited to see the water.
Okay,
Water makes me feel happy.
I agree.
One could
Our
say I'm
keen eyes.
hydrosexual.
Water make me wet.
Yeet.
What do you guys think about this?
You doing okay, Alex?
We're gonna get coffees before we get
Oh,
there.
I already...
We're gonna make
I'm gonna
out
get
like
one.
a clean
Okay,
bandit
I
crew.
thought you were gonna end the sentence early, and I was gonna say we're not gonna do that.
Alright.
Now we're gonna make out like bandits.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bandits don't.
Yeah, that was
Bandits
a
don't
weird
kiss
pause.
each other. They steal things.
Okay, Robin Hood and Lil Jon kiss.
Robin Hood and Little John
Kiss.
I
kissing
think
in the
Robin Hood's like
forest.
Never mind.
Robin Hood's the biggest Disney slut. What do you guys think is gonna happen?
We're gonna go to the bridge, and we're gonna see a big ghost, and he's gonna say hello, and we're gonna say goodbye, and we're gonna leave.
I think we're gonna go to the bridge, and I'm gonna look at the water, and I'm gonna be happy. And then we're gonna sit down and do the Ouija board, and, I'm not gonna rig it.
Yeah, you can't see, but Megan didn't wink her eyes.
And
Or I
then
guess one of them.
we'll do I have a theory about the EDP reader, EMP reader.
Mhm.
EMP?
I don't know.
Do you know acronyms?
No.
I really just don't know what it is. I'll be honest. I've been looking at it for like the past week, and I don't know the arrangement. Like electromagnetic. I think it's EMF.
EMF. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
I
looking
think
Don't quote
right at
me.
it.
about it
No,
that
it's
I'm
in my
gonna talk
backpack.
about later. But I tested something earlier this week, and I think it kind of worked. So we're gonna see.
And that's gonna be the new moon episode. We're gonna go now.
Goodbye. The
See you
episode's
later.
over.
Oh, does anybody want to say anything controversial so I can cut away?
I'm gonna turn my brain off.
You know, the Titanic couldn't have sank because the Earth is flat.
So far, this is not picking up whatsoever, but it's safe.
Trust me.
Yeah, we're safe.
We're not even at the river yet. We're just at the creaky tree pass.
Oh yeah, dead trees creak against each other. What?
It
Did it blip?
a little yellow.
Danger.
Uh-oh.
Oh, caution.
Uh-oh.
Red alert. Red alert.
Ooh, not red,
Ghost.
yellow.
I respect the ghost. I want to say this right now. I don't like unrespect it because it's funny. Because I respect it for real. Alex is gonna you piss off the ghost and he's not gonna show up. Pretty flowers. Already we found it. It was very close. I guess a tree fell down like immediately next to it. That's new to me. But it's so.
Jesus Christ.
I think this is like a.
I thought it was going to be like an actual bridge. I don't know if I want to walk on
I'm
this.
gonna. I'm
Who's
not
ready to
afraid.
walk on this bridge?
Oh, let's get the EMF boy out. Alright, Oh, I didn't. Alex is doing a walk.
You don't want to crawl. I don't feel safe on this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fall down.
Yep, EMF is chill.
You haven't gone on the bridge yet.
Okay. Sensitive? Like, it kind of got the little caution thing when we put it in the freezer.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna try it at the river just to... I guess we already know it does it, but it's still fun.
And like it makes sense because like cold spots are like a ghost thing. But since it was $15,
I'm gonna drop it. It's still green.
weird.
Oh, so sorry.
How cold is the river?
I don't know. I'll hold this. Cold, but not like...
Not like freezer cold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess this isn't a hard experiment to
It is a pretty river.
visit. My EMF detector. We stuck it in the river to see if it was cold, and I thought that the mechanism was like... We live in our truth. It's a $15 thing. I guess that way... Thought I heard like a peacock.
Yeah, I've heard it. I think it might be the trees.
It's probably just like some sort of bird.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of things. It just was fun.
It could have been a lot of things, but it's the ghost.
Yeah, it's the ghost. Broke my EMF detector.
I think
Elias Frisk!
is it the whole river that's haunted, or just the?
Just the bridge.
Well, I guess those are the stone remnants. Fun.
I mean, I made that. I don't actually know if there's a stone bridge. I'm just making inferences.
If some asshole ghost wants to come get me, I'm ready. I'm just sitting on the.
Do you see any children in the water?
It's kind of funny that that's like the... Like, how do you see children? I guess you could. There we go. Yeah, it's not the best angle.
We should have had a tripod.
Yeah, I'll get actual cool things later. We're gonna Ouija board everybody. I didn't like candles.
What are the
So we're good.
rules?
Fingers
crossed.
I like to two finger tip it with
Oopsie.
both hands. And then and then you just do a little spinny.
Alex, don't let
Alex
go.
is dead.
I don't want
Hold
to
on.
my fucking.
We're
Oh,
all dead.
we're
We're so dead.
We're not drunk. We're being
Look, you're
safe.
getting drunk later.
Aren't you supposed to
All
put
right.
like none of your finger on it, like just enough to touch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that later.
We'll do that. All right. I feel good.
Okay. Hi.
Hello.
Don't we have to say something?
Yeah. I feel comfortable saying things.
Are you
Yeah,
the
do
ghost
it.
of the
I don't know how to
bridge?
do this. I've never done it.
All right.
before.
I've only ever done it like once successfully.
And did it work?
It's at Jacob's house, which you keep bringing up on the pod, which is so
Okay.
funny. Anyway, hello. My name's Aaron. I'm here with my two siblings, Maegan and Alex. I'm
Hi.
also known as Forsetti for a project I'm doing
God
online
damn it.
because I usually don't use my
My
real
hands are
name.
cold.
We're here. Very curious if anybody in the
It's taking
spiritual
up all the chip space.
realm is
Big fingers, Aaron.
big thingy Aaron. We're just curious if anybody here would like to talk with us. If anybody is here, just say hello. Or you know what? We could do the easy one with the yes or no. Is anybody present?
H.
I have to scratch my eyelid.
Can you scratch it for him?
No, I just.
Scratch it for him. Come
I
on,
don't-
be a
I
pale.
don't want anybody to
Wait,
touch
be
my
a
eye.
pale.
Oh my god, it's moving.
Oh my god,
Oh my
it's
God.
moving. Where's
It's
it
tipping
going?
towards Megan.
Oh my god,
Oh
oh
my
no.
god.
Oh no.
Oh
Wait,
no.
I think it's gonna answer the question.
F?
We should keep it chill for a sec, Megan. Come on.
What?
We should.
No, Aaron, I'm not doing this.
Oh.
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not doing this, Aaron.
I'm trying not to lean on it.
Me neither. My fingers are barely touching it. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yes.
Yes, it will scratch your nose.
Oh my god, that's not what I said.
Aaron,
No!
get ready. Aaron, get ready.
I don't
This
want
is so
anybody. It's my
exciting.
eye. I don't want anybody's little spectral fingers in my eye.
Well, they.
Why are
That's
you-
very rude, Aaron. You're gonna make the ghost angry.
You can touch my eye if you
Oh
want.
my god. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no.
God,
What?
F again?
Okay. Oh no. Oh no.
I feel like I'm barely touching it,
I'm barely
and yet all the force is coming from this side of the
You.
board.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh my god, you can't say that!
Megan's dead now.
Oh no, where's it going now?
Trying again? What are you... T?
T? Butt.
C? What?
T...
E.
C?
You are
What
all
does this
the
mean?
worst!
Wait.
H?
Wait a minute. It can't be. It can't be.
D?
D? Oh no.
E? C?
I wasn't paying attention.
K?
What
Oh
does
my
it
God.
mean?
Tech deck? Oh my god, it's going faster now!
Oh, no! Calm down! Calm down! Ouija boards are bullshit.
This is fun.
Okay.
I don't think a Ouija board is... Okay,
Alright.
a Ouija board's not a cursed item. I'll say it,
Guys.
but it's a really convenient way for any little ghost to push the little thing so we can talk to it.
Alright,
Yeah.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Everyone just stay still for like
Okay.
10 seconds.
He's probably pissed off now.
I think you're cool for one. I'll just shitter energy.
Alright, they're not here.
No,
Goodbye!
you have
No,
to
we
wait.
Wait, I did wait.
Wait a
Like
minute.
a minute.
Oh, I said 10 seconds.
60
Okay,
seconds.
let's try to channel him back. We probably scared him off.
Everybody who's afraid of Ouija boards turned off the podcast.
Yeah, this is where things are gonna get cursed. And we're gonna
They're
die.
just really afraid for us.
I don't know, the ghost already said tech deck. So.
He said tech deck. He wants to join my tech deck team.
We're just having conversation. If anybody's there, we respect you. I
Yeah,
think all of
maybe
us
he does.
collectively respect you.
Maybe
Yeah,
he
maybe.
does.
And Megan just took her hand off the
Alex, high
thing.
five.
Wop?
I'll high five myself. No, Alex, that's.
Wet ass pussy.
Yeah, is
Yeah,
there
we
any
did it.
ghosts here?
Goodbye.
Okay, no, we have to circle. So,
No, you just have to go to
Circle.
goodbye.
Alright, wait, let's try one more time.
Let's just go to...
Let's just,
goodbye.
And then we do it over. We did it.
that didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't.
work.
Because this place isn't haunted. I told you, no energy.
Oh yeah, we were talking about it, just nobody was on camera. There's no weird energy here.
Yeah, this place is really just feels safe.
I've had the
Well,
vibe.
I wouldn't say everything feels
No.
safe. The bridge feels like it might collapse.
Listen, the bridge,
Yeah.
the
Not
bridge is a
because of
teetering
ghost
piece of shit, and I felt safer on that than I've ever felt in my life.
Oh,
That being said, not to actually bring up ghost stuff, this tree fell down. It wasn't in any of the pictures that I saw, and the bridge is like a little bit more fucked up than it was in the pictures I saw. So I bet this guy fell like a couple years ago and ruined the integrity of the bridge.
Yeah, just, like,
That's not like
pushed
ghost
everything
stuff
up.
or anything. It's just like a little observation I made.
yeah, that makes sense.
I'll have to look at pictures of how it looked before.
Yeah.
I'm done recording. I'm gonna get off this.
I
This
think-
is going up.
Yeah, I think it wants us to leave if it is here.
I don't mean
Hey,
any disrespect. We're just...
Mr. Ghost or Mrs. Ghost or they them ghost.
I'm not sorry.
Do you want us to leave?
Well, I'd probably have to ask it.
Oh, then do it.
I'm not sorry,
um,
asshole.
Yeah, I asked if there's a presence here that would like to make itself known, and this is like going off like more than it does, like counting in my little micro movements and wind and stuff.
You want to join my tech deck
I'm
team?
gonna-
If he wants to join my tech deck team.
No, say wait.
Do it. Let me.
Okay.
It didn't say if it wanted us for us to leave, so we're good for right now.
Does he want to join my tech deck
I'm
team?
not gonna do it.
Does he want to join my
I
tech deck
respect
team?
the ghost. We all agree coming in. We're gonna come in here with
Tech deck-
half shitter energy, only just half shitter energy.
Yeah, but then he wasn't real, so I have full shitter energy.
Well, if you're real,
Another hit on the pendulum.
we're sorry.
Wind is neat.
Oh, recording now. Alrighty.
Thoughts?
That's right. I think it's peaceful here.
Yeah.
It's very
Fake.
pretty. I feel it like one with the world.
There's no negative energy, which I guess like sometimes ghosts aren't like evil people. Like the Elias Risk story is bull crap. But if like there is a spirit here or something, there's like no negativity about it. This is a very peaceful place.
It's fake, the story's lame, and the bridge is fun.
Anyway, as I was just saying, and I feel like I should get recorded. I did get a hit on the pendulum, which is the one thing being like, oh, there's something here. But now that I'm thinking about it, the like great force of information that is like useful for divination, like tarot cards, runes, stuff like that, is the same. Like in my belief and stuff like that, is the same thing. It goes into the pendulum. And so while I was trying to contact the ghost and be like, hey, Shawty, what's up? And they said, strong no. It might just be the pendulum channeling the great, like, just like force in general, being like, hey, there's nothing here. Pack it up and go home. So it was just like, it was really strong. So that's the pseudoscience for today. I just peed and pooped. Anyway.
I just peed and pooed all over the floor.
Oh my god. call app.
No comment.
Anyway, checking the mic quality real quick, actually.
Yeah, that was a fake.
Talking. Yeah, this is sexy. Yeah, all I gotta do is press one button.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did we talk about? Nothing happened.
Yeah, we went to a place and nothing happened. We went on a bridge.
I wouldn't say nothing happened. I kind of felt at one with nature
Aw.
for a little bit. I like being by bodies of water.
We were in
I feel it.
the nature zone, and there was 2 pentagrams, and that's it.
And then
And like beer cans.
the
and
spirits
beer
told me
cans.
that there was nothing there. The pendulum spirits.
The spirits told me there were no spirits around.
It was tricky. I also came up with a really new, fun, comedic voice.
No,
And that
it's
one-
not
It's
funny.
I call her Conifer. Would you all like to hear it? Pause the video and stop listening if you don't want to hear this cool
Yeah,
new
just leave.
voice.
Just leave.
It's starting now. Oh my god, I'm Conifer, and I'm so good. I'm Chuck, I'm a funny girl, and I'm pretty.
You said
Son of
I'm-
a- oh my god.
I thought you were gonna say, and I'm pregnant.
Pregnant people can be pretty.
I'm proud.
Yeah, I'm proud. Oh. Alex bet me that I wouldn't do the voice for the podcast. I don't think money was involved though, so
Oh, I should have.
Yeah, you
you
should've.
really should have, because I did it immediately.
Yeah.
We also took shots,
How many?
and I made just the worst mixed drink now that I'm continuing to drink it.
I mean, I've had
Mine's good.
2.
I don't like it. Oh my god.
Let me try. Is yours different than mine?
No, it's the same.
I like it.
Let's talk about this kind of ghost story, I guess. Like, we didn't really have one growing up in school crap. Like, Dad was like, glowing tombstone. Dad was like, glowing tombstone. But nobody in school was like, glowing tombstone. Like, nobody in school.
Nobody in school was like glowing tombstone.
I did have a ghost story told to me during like a Girl Scout walk-in.
What was it?
I was like, oh my god, there's a kid. What? I'm not doing the
Oh my
voice.
god.
No, I'm not doing it.
The car ride was long on the way back.
I slept through it.
Somehow.
Anyways, one of the older girls, her name was Monica, was like, oh my god.
Doki?
From what?
Doki Doki Literature Club?
No.
Go on.
He's like, yeah, there's an old janitor that will like walk around the hallways. He's a ghost. And I was like, shit. And I was pictured him behind the bleachers. That's it.
Oh my god.
You guys want to talk about Bloody Mary, a real ghost?
Okay. Bloody Mary is like one of those ones that literally everybody is like,
Bloody
Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary,
Beetlejuice.
Bloody Mary.
Yeah, but it's more
Beetlejuice.
interesting than what we're gonna talk about.
Megan, no!
Beetlejuice.
I know it just said Bloody Mary 3 times, but don't say Beetlejuice, say Realer
Oh,
Ghost.
Bloody Juice
I
will
hope
show
you're
up.
listening, Brandon. 'Cause I've
Bloody
said it 3
Joss.
times.
I hope you're still listening, Brandon.
Do you think he would have come off by now?
I think Brandon just got on.
Did you say what? Do you think Brendan would get off by now?
No, I said come off.
Come.
Well, he definitely left now.
Oh, he's back. Oh, look.
Oh, look, here he is.
He's here.
How you doing?
Brandon!
Yay. And our,
It'd be
and our
funny.
fourth
Yeah.
guest.
It'll be funny if, like, a person that isn't your friend Brandon, also conveniently named Brandon, is listening to this right now and they're really uncomfortable.
You're just like trying to tell me that people named Brandon are automatically my friend. All
No.
Brandons are my friend.
Oh, I think I say all Brandons are my enemies.
All Brandons are my friends, and all English people are my enemies. And that's the first time I think I've
Sorry,
dropped that on the
sorry.
pod.
Sorry, Robin Hood.
Not a fan of the English.
I think we should probably
Sorry.
talk more about what ghost happened thing. Like,
Nothing
I know
happened, though.
But we saw a dead possum.
We saw a dead possum.
Yeah.
We saw 2 pentagrams. We
We
saw a
saw
bunch of
that.
empty bottles.
I dipped my EMF meter in the river and it broke.
Oh my god! The bridge
Oh
itself.
my god. Go on. Okay, go on. Oh my god.
The bridge itself was scary, but not because of ghosts. It was scary because it was like tilted, so you had to be really careful when you walked across it.
And a tree fell by it.
Yeah, so you were like, man, I really hope I don't fall off this bridge. Even though it's not like, oh, I don't want to fall off for my safety. I was like, oh, I don't want to get wet.
Yeah. Because it's not even like a meter off the ground. Like, it's less than a foot. And when I say ground, I mean water.
If it was a summer day, I would have just walked through the river.
No spiky rocks. No evil kids.
No faces in the water.
Yeah, we didn't get a single thing.
I saw a golf ball in the water.
I think this is an interesting jumping off point into getting into, like, some discourse, though. Okay. Like, how do these legends come about? Is it just because kids be walking up to, like, a spooky place and being like, we have to come up with a backstory immediately?
We have to summon demon!
I think it's, like, older kids trying to scare younger kids. Like, you want to be the ones to start a ghost story.
Yeah, you imagine everybody probably did it in, like the 40s or 50s. Yeah, there's probably, like, a high school around to the bridge in that area, and the high schoolers that go there were like, ghost time. Yeah. And it is, I mean, I didn't feel any negative energy while I was there. But like I said, the bridge is kind of, am I boring you?
No, I just realized something. Oh, man.
Why?
Ghosts aren't real.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
High five.
Ghosts are real.
Ghosts are real.
Yeah, high five.
I'm back on this. I'm back on your side.
I got it.
Ghosts aren't real.
Ghosts? Oh my god.
Back on this side.
Oh my god.
Ghosts aren't real.
Ghosts are so real.
Oh, yeah, ghosts are real.
Ghosts are real.
We used the Ouija board.
We almost went to Craig's Cruisers.
Oh yeah, unpack that as you may. I know there's the Ouija board carries some baggage.
I don't believe in Ouija boards.
I believe that Ouija boards are a useful way for a ghost to push the thing to get some letters if they're not feeling up to talking, because I imagine that takes a lot of energy.
The ghost spelled tech deck, and like, what does that mean?
If Ouija boards were real, then they wouldn't be selling them to children through Hasbro.
I feel like they would. That's the thing. I think Hasbro's evil.
Are we gonna cross?
No, I agree though. That's a good point.
Are we just gonna run through the fact that we didn't go to Craig's Cruisers?
It's probably yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
It's probably entirely possible that a ghost probably like can haunt, or like a negative energy or whatever can haunt a Ouija board in post, like after it's been produced.
Yeah.
Or like if somebody just burns that shit into a piece of wood back in like 100
if the
years
ghost
ago.
really wants to communicate, then they'll find a way to communicate.
Yeah. Yeah.
7 years.
Yeah. My favorite thing, if you're listening to the podcast and you want to pick me up, my favorite thing to do when I'm feeling down is to go on Amazon, type in Ouija board, and read the reviews. They're wild.
I want to do that.
It's so funny.
Almost right now, but I guess we can do that later.
My
pod. Fuck it. We don't have a lot of material. Yeah. Nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing happened. This is gonna be a short episode.
You can look it up right now.
My favorite review was someone typed in, "Yeah, I dabbled in the dark arts when I was a child. I used Ouija boards and magic 8 balls." I was like, what?
Oh shit, she means business.
Yeah.
That lead is not only buried, it is cremated.
Yeah.
Cremating the lead.
Yeah, it's like half the people are taking it seriously, half the people are pretending to take it seriously, and then I know I'm going 150% why not? And then there's a third half of the people that are just haven't bought it yet, and they're like, do these actually work? And it's so funny.
Here's my thought process on Ouija boards. I could do an episode about them. Who's to say? I've like read stories about them hurting people and stuff like that. But I also remember Max Jones. Mm-hmm. He got fucked up by one. He was a camp counselor at a camp that I probably wouldn't name because I don't remember the name, but probably also for legal reasons. And there was like a Ouija board buried, and when I say buried, I mean burned into a tree stump. Cute. And apparently one of them said something about fall or some shit like that. And when he was on the top of a really tall, like 6-meter diving board, something almost pushed him off. Like an unseen force. And that story stuck with me because it's like, well, now I gotta believe in Ouija boards.
Curses.
The wind?
Like a push, Megan. Like an actual, whoosh. Like, feel the hands.
Like
I don't
5
know,
fingers?
ask Max. I wasn't there.
I believe that he believes it.
Okay. I think that Ouija boards are easy to possess you because a lot of times if you're going to be using a Ouija board, you're going to be going at it with full belief, and once you open yourself up to that, you're easier to be possessed.
Yeah.
So there's nothing inherently demonic about Ouija boards. It's easy for ghosts to push the felt thing to make the letters, and it's easy for demons to possess you if you're believing in it. And Hasbro is mass producing them, and that's just a fact you can't ignore.
Fuck skeptics, you're out of luck.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You didn't talk to us.
Out of luck, skeptics. We have proof.
Gotcha.
Aaron's possessed.
God, could you?
This isn't possession.
This
This
is
isn't
possession.
I'm not possessed. I'm not
This-
possessed.
Well, it's a good thing he's going to Wisconsin then.
I'm not possessed.
I'm not possessed.
Are you possessed by like a ambulance?
Are you
here?
conifer?
Are you possessed by like a fish that was in the river?
Yeah, with like zero.
Have they made a brain cells?
I think Yuki's got more brain cells than you.
We're
right
trying to discourse, and I am hurting it more than anybody else in
now.
the
Yeah,
room.
see, Yuki agrees, right?
I think, okay, so, I think to a degree, though, when you're gonna, I just came up with this, when you're gonna be using the Ouija board and you're like, woohoo, I'm gonna get my shit possessed immediately, and you come at it with that amount of skepticism, I agree. I think that once you, like, that sort of thought process can be carried over to if you're going to, like, the local haunted spot, like, Lovers Make Out Lane, uh-oh, the Hook Man, like, the more you believe in it, I don't want to call it like a tulpa situation. A tulpa is a Tibetan thought form given form by thinking about it. So it's like, everybody really hard believe a unicorn exists now.
So the more you think about it, the more real. Unicorns are rhinos. Fuck you. I believe in giants.
I believe in unicorns. I don't. I really don't. I wish they were real. I think, like, that's why some people will see ghosts there and, like, people really be out here seeing a dude with a hanging rope like Elias Frisk is a real man.
Yeah, people be out here believing that they hung someone. Even though the bridge is lower than
Like,
he
he's
would
just
probably
out there.
be
He's like-
standing.
Yeah. You can sit down and not,
Yeah.
like, choke.
Yeah.
It's so...
People out there really believe in the hanging people. Oh, hanging. Oh, what do you got? Ropophobia? Oh.
Dude, I have a fear of hanging.
Oh my god. What makes an urban legend good?
Aaron, hold up. First of all, Aaron's possessed. He took a shot, and while he was drinking, he went.
I didn't do that.
He went.
I'm
And
really
his
just...
head spun around his shoulder.
Yeah, his head spun around.
You see? I mean, you can't see shit, but...
It's not a ghost.
Okay, so
Ooh.
What?
what makes
Oh,
a
I
good
lost.
urban legend?
Yeah, what makes a good urban... So we were on pause trying to come up with a way to make this episode...
Because nothing happened at the bridge because the ghost's not real.
good. Because this episode will be bad. And I'll give you all a refund.
Just for buying it.
You bought the episode? Urban legends are good if they are specific. Like, if you're just like, man broke out prison, killed makeout couple, it's the worst thing I've seen. You have to have, for all things being said, okay, actually, I don't like Elias Frisk. I was about to compliment that story, but the premise of, like, coming up with just a horrible, hateful crime with no records to back it up, newspaper, chronological, census-wise, is just to do your story a great disservice, especially in the internet age. Your story can get uprooted immediately. It has to be a subtle crime.
Counterpoint.
Mm-hmm.
It is risky to involve real people.
I don't think you should involve real people. I think you should make up stories where it's not like the worst thing ever. Like if one person dies,
okay,
then you can
yeah.
get away with it. If you kill 8 children, it's
And
going
then
in the
another
newspaper.
8 children.
Okay, you can
Yeah.
you can take like a newspaper, read it up. Oh, interesting. And you grab the interesting bits of the newspapers, the obituaries, and then you.
That's what Grandma thinks.
And then you.
What
and then
does Grandma think?
Oh, Grandma,
I'm not
Grandma
done.
reads the
I'm not done.
obituaries.
Okay, so you take all the
she'll
obituaries.
talk about it
you're
at
like,
dinner.
how did this bloke die?
I need to know about Grandma's obituary fascination more than your absolute nonsense.
No, it's a point I'm making that's good.
Okay.
So you look in the newspaper, you look at the most interesting part, the obituary, and you're like, okay, who died? This guy, he's my next monster. You put him in a location, the London Bridge. How about it? You know, he's a London Bridge, robber.
Like Hood?
Okay.
Robert Hood.
If people are listening to this, and I touched upon this earlier,
Okay.
be careful when you're involving real people, because if it's one of those things where they're not old, like it's not, the event itself isn't old enough that they don't really have any living relatives that are directly impacted by it, then it's not going to be as, like, hurtful. But if you take someone from, like, 10 or 20 years ago and their family's still around, it could cause, like, a lot of harm to them.
So we can make urban legends about Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can we make urban legends about Jim Henson?
No.
Yes.
I'm okay with it personally, but I can see why people would.
Jim Henson, the hands inside the Muppets were real.
They were.
No, he's onto something.
No, they were real. He's saying no. I'm agreeing.
No,
So,
gatekeeping Megan from the Muppets. We're gatekeeping Megan from the Muppets.
So think about it. What was Kermit doing at the beginning of Muppets movie?
Fucking bitches.
Episode 0.
Muppets movie episode 0?
Yes.
Actually, I'm gonna.
He was on the
Continue
log.
This will
On
go
a
on.
banjo with a log. And where do you put your hand? Under the water? Try breathing, Jimmy. Can't do it.
Y'all ever think about, like, what the
Actually,
fuck? Why
there
are
was,
there
like, a
so
box.
many fucking songs about rainbows?
Yeah, okay. So,
Wasn't it a sign?
so where are the hands at?
Oh my
Where
god.
are the hands? Easy. They're fit underneath.
Megan's happy.
Didn't we have a topic?
Jim Henson.
Yeah, okay, actually, don't. Okay,
Don't leave.
To make a great urban legend is probably, like, just
I-
write a creepypasta.
I have
Megan.
it. Okay, I know exactly how you write a good creepypasta.
Mhm.
You make it, like, realistic, but you also make it a mystery. Because when questions aren't answered, it makes it more, suspenseful. And suspense is always the scariest part of a horror movie.
And having questions unanswered makes people want to look up more stuff.
Yeah.
Like, to try to build a
And
canon.
when it's vague, someone could be like, oh, maybe I saw that.
Alex is touching me.
Scooby-Doo. They're talking about Scooby-Doo.
We're
They're talking about
not.
Scooby-Doo.
Oh.
Scooby-Doo.
Explain, but take no longer than 10 seconds.
Wait,
Okay, so-
before you start, Alex left, took a shot, he came back, he's very drunk.
No, I'm not that drunk. I'm just really tired.
Okay.
Debatable.
I'm
You
I'm-
awake
Little-
ass.
Little
Make-
lightweight Alex.
Okay, I'm gonna start the countdown. Ready?
2 shots
3,
in.
2, 1, 10,
Scooby-Doo.
9,
Okay, you're talking about mysteries, and
8,
you're talking about suspense
7,
and realism.
6,
What are all those 3
5,
things? Scooby-Doo,
4,
Mystery Incorporated,
3,
featuring Velma,
2,
Freddy, Scooby,
1,
Shaggy, and Daphne.
0.
Alright, so I have like a real example.
It worked. It happened.
So-
It worked.
This is something, like the first time I heard it, I understood it differently than how it actually is. So in the SCP containment unit, there is this one SCP, which is like a spooky monster. Whoa! You can look into it more if you want. That's a plague mask doctor, and like I think he's like a moderate unsafe, like a moderate danger level.
Euclid.
Yeah. And basically his thing is he's like well educated. He can talk nice. Sorry, I'm kind of tired. He can talk. He's like well educated, whatever. But he doesn't like people who have the plague. Anyways, so the first time I heard it, that was all the information that I gave you. Plus the thing where he's like, oh, he's mostly well mannered, other than when he senses people have a certain type of sickness. Now they don't specify what that sickness is, but they say he does not want anything to do with them, and he'll get hostile if they go near him. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's mysterious. What's the sickness? How many people have it? What does it mean? How dangerous is it if he can't go near it? And then I read more about it, and he was like, yes, and then he will kill them and resurrect them to be zombies. And I was like,
Yeah.
so much lamer.
Although I think a climax would be involving, like, a murder, but if you're gonna pin it on him, that's how you ruin it. If you explain everything, it's gross, but something climactic needed to happen.
Yeah.
The premise is strong.
But not the zombie shit.
Yeah, that shit didn't work.
Yeah.
I like that point.
Thank you.
I like the SCP that's a teacup with a lot of teeth, like gross teeth. Teacup.
Teeth cup.
Teeth cup. Oh, is that what it is? That's probably why they made it.
Yeah.
Gross teacup.
They always go into mystery.
Are you ever gonna make a
Star
podcast
Wars?
about SCP? Are you gonna make a podcast about SCPs?
There will be a new Moon episode about the SCPs I think are cute. Because
a lot of them are cute,
in
though, right?
the top 10 eligible cryptid bachelors episode, we talked about SCP-3 numbers.
You know, talk about Teeth Cup.
Skull Dog Girl.
Teeth Cup.
I love Skull Dog Girl.
Teddy bear.
She's a cutie patootie.
Teddy bear.
I would give her a
Oops.
big ol' kiss on her bony lips.
Teeth Cup.
A good urban legend involves
I think
it doesn't involve great astronomical concepts. It works best if it affects the day-to-day. Like if a man comes home from his work job at McDonald's at 12 at night and sees something, it's gonna hit way more than if Wall Street broker opens up the tomb of the gods in a sort of country.
It's kind of like time
Would that
travel.
be
The
bigger?
less you explain it, the better
It would be
works.
less interesting.
Would it be bigger if McDonald's Joe saw a ghost on his way home, or would it be more impressive if Stockbreaker Joseph saw a fucking ghost when he opened up the tomb of God?
I'm gonna ask what Megan said in a second, but Alex, what I'm saying is that like the credibility and believability and intrigue of a story like that at a small scale affects you more because it's like, oh shit, that could happen to me. I don't have to go to the tomb of God. or whatever.
No! If you opened up the tomb of God and saw God, I'm gonna fucking...
Yeah, but then you could go to Reddit news and see the news and be like, oh, it didn't happen.
We're
Okay,
yelling.
not a real story.
These neighbors were yelling. Can we take it down a little bit?
Yeah.
So...
No,
so-
Megan had a point. Shush.
Oh,
Oh, sure,
a
it's just
good-
for me.
a good. I'm gonna say a
Megan
good
is a-
spooky story. I think goes with the same rules of a good time travel story. The less you explain it, the better it is.
I like it.
Yeah.
I've been gatekeeping Alex so hard for the past 20
Oh,
minutes. It's time to gatekeep Megan.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about, Alex?
What's a good urban legend? Something spooky. Siren head, spooky kanuki. Look at the siren noises. You ever hear a siren when it's going bad?
Oh, is that
I've
that
had
giant
on
thing?
the right.
Been making that noise
I
for
saw
the
that on
whole
TikTok.
podcast.
So siren head is not scary anymore because kids on TikTok like it. But
Oh, TikToky!
but the idea is there. Something that's creepy, but
I
like
love Takis.
something that's subconsciously creepy, and then make that like
Hot Cheetos and
personify
Takis.
it. Like like Teeth Cup, for example. Teeth Cup. What if you just had a guy? He's got a lot of teeth all over. That'd be weird. That'd be creepy.
Gone
So
the
you're more
smiler.
into like the body horror aspect of it.
Maybe.
Okay, that's
'Cause
interesting
stories-
and equally
Because
valid.
ghost stories about a guy on a bridge are just kind of lame. I don't
Oh,
care. Like what if a guy with a bunch of his fucking body was fucked up and he like cursed with teeth all over?
No, I think
That'd be
there has to be
weird.
something inherently unnatural to make it a horror story, a ghost story.
That's
Yeah,
why
like
Elias
teeth all
Frisk
over.
actually probably
Yeah.
stuck around because he was like killing kids, and I was like, oh, the devil made me do it. Like that's easy. It's low hanging fruit, narratively. But it's not
like, What if
nothing.
he was like missing his ears?
Yeah.
Who?
And you see like an earless man in the woods, and then you
Yeah.
know. Like when I was at the Civic, and they were
No,
like,
no,
"Watch out for
wait,
the
wait.
chick with the Russian babushka hat," and I saw her, and I was like, "Oh, I know what this is immediately.
Yeah, they
this is
need
the worst."
They need a thing, but I will say, if you make it based off of a childhood character or cartoon, you're basic.
Yeah, it's easy to be basic. Hookman, basic.
Photo negative Mickey, basic.
Wait, but
Yeah, photo negative, anything basic.
But the reason I bring up Siren Head because it like sirens that
Not
are
basic.
weird and under and like going bad. You're like, oh, that's weird. That's scary. Sirens? I really don't like them. Okay,
Yeah.
but like, so you'd have to take something like that. You'd have to like, what's something you were scared of as a child that doesn't make sense?
Urban decay and liminal spaces. That's not the answer to your question. That's just the
That
thing I wanted
is
to bring up.
something
That was
similar.
why Siren Head works.
That is something similar.
I was
Liminal
afraid of that
spaces-
one weird house in town.
Toilets flushing.
Okay, so I'll go back to the needles one. What if it's just like needle guy? He just like had weird needles.
Like sticking out of him.
That's
Like a syringe.
lame. Let's
Mhm.
think of something different.
Yeah, that is kind of lame.
That actually would be really cool right now.
Okay, what's a
I would
big,
love that, man.
what's a scary thing?
I was afraid of
nudity.
lava.
Oh, naked man. Oh.
Well, that would be scary.
I like how
I
we're
would
moving on
not
from
like
my
that.
thing. I've never had to deal with lava.
You see, I guess for me it's not always visual, it's like movement-wise too.
I got freaked out by
Auditory.
volcanoes.
Okay,
when I was, like,
Auditory.
6.
What if there was a guy, and you know at like 2 a.m. the TV will like go.
Always?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, the like with the rainbow bars and
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
emergency
yeah.
broadcast.
Yeah,
and stuff.
emergency.
Oh,
like they're
emergency
testing the
broadcast.
emergency broadcast system.
Mhm.
What if you had something based around that sound? Because that sound is terrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's scary. Have you guys listened to like the different emergency sounds
Yeah.
in different countries?
They're scary, and some of them
Yeah.
aren't.
The sirens in Germany freak me the fuck out.
Oh,
Yeah.
And since it's really way cheaper to get an ambulance in Germany,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
more common that you hear them.
It's so interesting to because those sounds are that way. I cannot talk right now. Those sounds are made that way because they're like, this is a frequency that is sharp and it'll get people's attention immediately,
Mhm.
but it also will terrify them. And we're gonna do it at 2 a.m.
I like the thought process. There are unnerving things that give you a dark vibe, and it's very easy to use that in your urban legend.
And that's also the
Yeah.
only takeaway from this whole episode is dark energy.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a good energy.
What
I mean,
has-
That's a good
Stop.
energy.
No,
Opposite
what
of that.
has like dark energy and what has like good vibes?
like a vibe is so easy to make fun of for being a concept, but vibes are felt
Yeah.
with a lot of things.
Like you can tell when someone's sketch is around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if someone,
Yeah.
like if you see a guy who's following you, sketch. If you see a guy who's like following another one person, sketch.
Mhm.
Following was weird.
I've
What if
been
there was
followed.
okay? Here's
Like,
an
it
urban
follows?
legend. Okay, so here's a scary thought, right?
Mhm.
You're walking somewhere, or you're
Yeah.
driving somewhere, and the guy or car in front of you, just for some reason, every time they turn, they're turning on the road that you're supposed to turn on. Weird, right?
Yeah.
That would be weird. Like they're following you, but in
It's
front
like
of you.
tangibly weird because like it could be a ghost, but it could be like a full-on murderer man,
Or it
like
could just
real
be a
person.
coincidence.
That too.
Like you don't know. Like they're walking in front of you, and
Oh,
they keep turning on
or-
where you're supposed to turn.
This hasn't happened to me in a long time because I don't really drive at night anymore. I don't have a reason to. But have you ever driven at night and on like a lamplit road and then suddenly when you go under one light it like goes off? But it's just your car.
No.
Oh,
I've had that happen like
that's
3
happened
times.
once.
I think
or twice.
I don't
The
like
only-
it.
Only a couple weird things happened to me while driving, and that's it. Only a couple.
I don't
Yeah.
think I've had one. I don't
Oh!
think I've had a weird driving, like a
Do you
weird
guys-
driving experience to bring up.
Wait, speaking of dark energy,
Okay, mine's pretty lame now that I think about it.
speaking about places that give me sketch vibes, you know that road that our old high school is on? That like country road that used to have that weird like house on it, but it was
Yeah.
torn down.
And
That
I
gives me
hit a
sketch
fucking
energy.
hawk on that road.
Yeah.
What?
A hawk dive bombed my
You know
car and
the-
I killed
the
it.
road our high school's on?
14th Street.
Oh, going that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
That road gives me sketch energy.
No, I don't think so.
I could feel it, but
My friend Lily agrees.
because there's that one weird burned out house. on
Yeah,
it.
it's gone now.
Okay, well that sounds a lot better than my
Okay,
weird
so-
car story. This one time I was driving in the winter and a piece of ice fell out of a tree on my car and I got oh!
One time I was driving in the Rockies and I hit it. Okay,
Ugh.
wait, this is a funny story. It's not a scary story. So I was in acting school, and at one point in time, I had a friend who got a acting gig at a theater that was a devised theater in Laramie, Wyoming, and then I had a second friend who had summer stock theater repertory work in Grand Lake, Colorado, and these two towns are like 3 hours away.
Jeremy.
And neither of the two people had a car, but they wanted to see each other's show, and they also wanted people to see their show. So at that point in my life, I was like, I will drive to Colorado/Wyoming. I'll live at your place for a couple of years, and I'll chauffeur you guys between your
Years?
two shows. Shut up. I'm drunk.
Okay.
I had to
You're
drive
not that
20
drunk.
hours. Anyway, I got to there, and we're driving through Rocky Mountain National Forest. I'm with one of my friends in the up front seat. She's vibing.
Mhm.
My friend in the back seat, he's asleep. The roads in the Rocky Mountains are very twisty, like Ryan Reynolds in Detective Pikachu. Alex is shooting me with finger gun. And the one time I just hit an elk, and it went over my car, and it didn't damage my car, and then it fell over my car and probably died, and we kept driving, and I woke up my friend in the back seat who was like, what the fuck? And
Here's another idea. Ready? eels are along the lines of this thinking. They have like weird, jagged, sharp, glass-like teeth.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, anything
they're uneven.
slithery makes me uncomfortable.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I like tentacle
I think
porn.
about their teeth. Cause
teeth.
Because
Okay.
moray eels
Do you
have.
have something with teeth?
And we're moving
No,
on.
This
I
is
don't
the
know.
second
I don't
time
know
you've
why I keep
brought it
going
up.
back to teeth. I just thought of it. Moray eels have like uneven, glass-like, sharp teeth.
Tentacle porn.
No, it's not.
I said it earlier and we needed somebody to acknowledge it.
I'm going to the bathroom. Pause it.
We're shit talking Colin Evans.
Colin
what a
Evans?
fucking.
Colin Evans is a cock.
I'll
Colin
stop.
Evans is a
Okay,
cock.
I'll edit this
I love
out.
Colin
Colin Evans
Evans.
isn't a cock.
Is it audio on?
Yeah.
Okay, well it's a good thing you're editing this out because I'm a dumbass.
I spilled water on nobody. This is an empty water bottle.
There is no water in here. Water was spilled nowhere. We're in a drought.
Ghosts are fucking
Ghosts are
simps.
fucking.
Ghosts are simps because they die and they're like, oh, I'm afraid to move on. What's beyond? Like, everybody's gonna die.
Idiot.
Just grow up.
Okay, so we're talking about ghosts.
I don't know what point I'm trying
Let
to
me
make.
think of a topic real quick to iron this out. Ghosts.
Or actually, we're talking about urban legends.
Yeah.
Changing gears.
Editing urban legends.
What are they? Where are they?
Who's simping for
Who is Urban? And what is his legend?
Like Pope Urban II?
Why does he have legends?
Popey, say that you popey.
Do you guys think the Pope was a hologram?
No.
Dante Alighieri hated the popes.
Okay, but the Pope was a hologram in that one video. Where
Which
he was,
one?
There was like a new thing that popped up where the Pope was. He had to make a
Like
public.
Emperor Palpatine?
No, the Pope. Like they.
No, like he was a hologram often.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the Pope in. There was like something recently happened where the Pope had to make a public appearance, and then in the video he was like in a window because COVID or whatever, and then at the end of the video he just fucking disappears.
I love it.
Oh, I've not seen this.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what the
think
video is.
The
but-
Catholics are up to something. Like, I think that, like, the Catholics are onto something dark and mysterious. I have a dark energy about the Catholics.
No, I agree.
I don't trust the Catholics.
It's weird. I feel like Catholics just love gatekeeping.
Yeah, Catholics are gatekeeping us from deep
Why is he talking
esoteric
about
knowledge.
You guys want to talk about Locals 58?
No.
What's that?
It's a spooky, scary ARG.
Oh.
And it's interesting because one of the videos, like psychologically manipulates you to have nightmares.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, just by watching it. It'll like...
Megan and I have waking dreams.
Yeah,
and
you'll probably
sleep
get it then
paralysis.
if you watch it. It's like this really weird sequence, like 3 sequences of things. Like the first 2 makes it so your brain can't really distinguish faces in dreams. And then the third one is a bunch of like really quick texts that talk shit about dreaming and going to sleep and make it seem like going to sleep is really bad.
We already have that, as we discussed in a previous episode. Megan and I will routinely have sleep paralysis where we're at our part-time jobs, and our coworkers are telling us we can't sleep.
Well, I
So
don't
that was a
routinely.
reprise of last episode.
I have it often enough.
Dreams are kind of weird, though.
Yeah.
Have you ever dreamed something and then it kind of came true?
No, but I have a scary point, but you can finish yours first.
Do you think I'm a little psychic?
I think...
Yeah.
Okay, I think all humans are a little bit psychic, but now that I'm going to talk realistically, dreams are not weird. I think we have a pretty good understanding of what dreams are.
I have a point to make. Sometimes I get into dream cycles when it's early in the morning and there's an amount of stress in my life where I will
where you
wake up, be like, I'm awake, I get to sleep still, go back to sleep, immediately have a new dream. And the more it goes on, the more the cycles continue, the more I either have the most stressful dreams of all time, but not like a stress like, werewolf chasing me, but like stress like a job stress. I am at a theater job, I don't know my lines, I have a teeth fall out, I have to pay my bills, I don't have money,
I think
things
we're
like
thinking
that.
of different things.
And then sometimes I'll have dreams where I wake up in my room in the dream and I
Okay,
go
yeah.
through my morning routine, I brush my teeth, I get dressed, and then I wake up for real and I'm like, oh my god, I put all that effort in for nothing. And more that these dream cycles go on, the more that it distills into these areas of stress in my life. until my alarm goes off and I'm like awake for real. But even then, I feel like I'm not actually awake.
Yeah, once I was staying at my friend's house and that happened to me like consistently so many times that I would such like a warped sense of reality where I just would wake up and I'd be like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. So I'd like start to get up and then I'd wake up again. But this time my friend's mom was up and she was like, oh, good morning. And I was like, oh, good morning, Mom. No, she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, cool. And I'd get up and then I'd wake up again and it was fucked up. I hate it.
It kind of happens like once a week.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I might have that happen a lot. And Alex has a point because he shot finger guns at me and then his mouth.
What the fuck about dreams? Yeah, no, dreams are not scary. Dreams are just your brain, like your subconscious doing some random shit when you're asleep to try to remember things, and then your conscious brain trying to put it together and it not making sense.
Dreams themselves aren't scary, but they're an easy conduit for sleep paralysis to sneak in.
Yeah.
And that's never fun.
But if people are truly psychic, then maybe it's something.
Good point. Good. I like how we're going into the esoteric instead of dwelling on actually scary things that our brains do to us.
Yeah.
Anyway, this bridge. The bridge that we were on? What about it? Yeah, thoughts?
I'm gonna think about it once 10 years from now. That'll be the rest of the time I think about it.
Someone could, make a short movie about it.
Well, it's easy. Low-hanging fruit, killing kids.
Well, not like the story, but it'd be like a good setting, you know?
Yeah.
Not really.
Different
you couldn't
story.
stand on it straight.
The setting for...
It'd be interesting.
Fall into the river and drown.
It's 1 foot.
No, I was talking to... I just want you to do it.
You'd have to, like, fall down and forget how to stand up again.
It did kind of remind me of the scenery in the new It movie. There's like a scene where you see like it's pretty good.
I'll see it.
I didn't see part 2, but part 1 was pretty good. It had like a weird Stand By Me like vibe to it that worked for it. It made it different than other like scary movies, but also just like I think the horror in it was pretty good. It was like a fun monster movie.
I'll poke at it.
Yeah.
Wild West. Are there any Wild West ghosts? Wild West.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
There's
probably
a bunch
like
of ghost
80
towns.
of them.
Can we talk about those?
I don't know about them.
Oh my god, okay, let's pick one up.
No, there's like...
Jasper Dam.
Why do you make the worst names in the world?
What do you mean? That's a good one. Like Jasper, like red Jasper. The mineral. Dam, like what the whisk. Conifer's something you chose to bring up. I forgot about it. I haven't done it for...
bad name.
I haven't done the bit for 10 minutes.
What'd you say, Jasper Dam?
Yeah. I haven't done Conifer for 10 minutes, and I would have never done it again if you didn't just bring it up.
That's not true. You were going to do it again.
Nah, I was gonna do it again. Conifer.
Oh, is it 12?
No, it's 11:02.
Damn, I thought that was the siren going off.
I'm a singer. I have a long lung.
I have a long, illustrious lungs.
Do we have anything to bring up? We're just shooting this shit at this point.
Okay, so, the ghost, what was
We
his
just
name?
talked about
Frisk?
horrifying dreams and Frisk Elias. There's a comma.
Frisk is a guy who doesn't exist, and he didn't kill anybody because he didn't exist, and nobody's haunting that bridge. That's the big takeaway.
Yeah.
Wait, his name was Frisk?
Elias Frisk.
Okay.
With an E at the end.
Okay. Undertale, okay.
If you, takeaway. If the high school kids be like, Old Man Jenkins ate his wife at the make-out point, heart and everything.
Now he has a hook.
You probably can safely kiss your girlfriend there. These people make up these legends because they don't want you to kiss your girlfriend and or boyfriend and or a significant other.
If you hear a knock, knock, knock on the window, it's not the hook man, it's the cops.
Yeah, probably don't go to prison if you see a cop car, but there's no hook man.
Yeah, but
kiss
if
your...
someone...
Have sex.
Yeah, but if someone tells you, you know, sometimes I see this weird guy
Wear a condom.
hanging out at the bus stop. I never see him get on a bus.
Or
Sometimes he'll just sit there for long periods
It's
of
up to
time,
you.
and then he'll leave.
Is this the Candyman?
No, it's not the Candyman.
Okay, not for context because I didn't leave it in the last episode. Megan just really be bringing up the Candyman like 8 times in the last episode we did.
Yeah, I did. I recently listened to it that day, though.
Yeah.
Fuck, what was his name? Ow! Because it's not like the movie The Candyman. That's a different guy. Also very cool though. He had bees in his mouth.
Neither Candyman was cool.
But
Kool-Aid Man possessed?
Dean Powell, I think, was his name.
Okay.
Not a nice guy. Not good at all.
Yeah, real people can hurt you more than the urban legend of your high school. So have sex unless there's literally a stalker there.
What was in the Jonestown Kool-Aid?
Cyanide,
Poison? Probably cyanide, arsenic.
Huh.
One of the MVPs of poison.
Yeah. If you don't want to be sad, there's like another thing that was like really depressing, where like a cult was like burned alive in their own house because they were like, the government was like, we're just gonna send the smoke bombs in or like smoke them out, even though it's flammable.
Don't join a cult.
Please don't.
Unless you choose to worship me.
No.
No, I will never hurt my worshippers.
She
You
said
don't need
that
to be
now.
worshipped.
I need to be What do you mean? I need to be worshipped.
Oh my god.
I'm stopping the video. Worship me.
Alrighty, that concludes the in-person investigation of Hell's Bridge interview. Hopefully it was coherent. In fact, I actually haven't edited it at this point. I'm just kind of hoping it works, and we're going to be cutting it and just going to move on from there. I'm very sober right now, rest assured. But that being said, I'm again off script. I have 2 candles that are slowly running out of wax, but are covering up the sound in the background. I have roughly 1 hour left on my computer battery, and I refuse to go upstairs to charge it. Let's get into it. I know at one point, I think it was either Luca, Brandon, or both, they were talking about how I wanted to talk about my haunted apartment, and then Rebecca brought it up a little bit. It's mostly the haunted artifacts that are the stories that I think people wanted me to talk about. Rebecca was talking about 70 Circle, which is the name I affectionately gave to the clay circle with the number 70 on it. That was in, like, half of it. But I found that in Parashini, or Parashine. No, it's, like, definitely Parashini. I've heard it said. There's, like, just a handful of cursed objects that I came into contact with in college, and who knows if they're cursed or not. To be fair, a majority of the haunting type stuff happened to not me. I just was the one to bring one of the artifacts into the apartment. But Brandon, Rebecca, and I, in addition to for senior year of college, it was our other friend Will, who has not appeared on the podcast, and then in the summer it was not Will, and it was instead our other friend, Ian, was our roommate situation. So it was the 4 of us, including Will or including Ian, who'll probably show up on the podcast. I love those guys. But that being said, the senior year of high school, or college, I was like fully ghost shit. This is like, I'm getting into paranormal podcasts, listening to them. I am very excited for it. And it was almost exactly a year after my Dogman story in 2017. I think it was around like 2018 at this point. My senior year of college at Oakland University by Detroit. I was doing a musical theater degree. But I was just every once in a while intensely curious about like ghost type things. So I think it was a week before Halloween this time. But I just decided to drive all the way up to Parashini by myself in the middle of the day. I didn't take anybody with me, but to do like a ghost hunt investigation. And I like took a camera and stuff, but I didn't actually end up finding anything. Parashini, as like a background, used to be a railroad town up in northern Michigan, kind of near Roscommon or Gaylord, which is spelled Gaylord. Very funny. This is all going from memory too. I could be entirely wrong. But Parashini eventually became a ghost town, probably due to disease. A lot of people point to tuberculosis. We got one witch story, like, that's kind of apocryphal, very much in the same way that the Elias Frisk story is apocryphal, wherein people burned a witch at a stake, and she was like, I'll curse this town, but it was like the 17 or 1800s, and I feel like they didn't do that in either of those centuries. That being said, time moved on. The railway goes there, and a cemetery stands to this day, but it's mostly a bunch of empty clearings, like a handful of trails, especially for, like, if I remember, there was, like, a lot of things for biologists or people studying the world or like, the nature around, so foot trails to get to those sorts of facilities, not, like, anything larger than a cabin or anything. Some private property that I did not go on, and other stuff like that. there are a lot of clearings where the buildings once stood, but a majority of them were probably wooden, and there's a handful of frames, like stone framework, in the clearing. But that's, yeah, it's like the worst ghost town of all time, in as much as there's 0 buildings in one cemetery. It's got the haunted reputation, much like Hell's Bridge, in as much as I think people get the biggest reported thing is actually if you leave your car by the cemetery and you get back to it, you'll see a lot of tiny children's handprints in, like, condensation on the windows and stuff. I obviously would have talked about it otherwise, but I don't think I saw any ghosts there. But what I did see was this clay circle that looked like a building marker, as Rebecca pointed out. And it was definitely chipped to the point where it wasn't even like a full circle. It was probably like a semicircle, but like where 70% of it's intact. And it just said 70 on it. And it was propped on top of one of the stone foundations, like somebody found it and just stuck it there because they thought it was interesting. Like, I don't think it was left there because it was a part of that foundation. It was probably just left behind to somebody who was, like, very interested in it. But because I'm a little crazy fox man, I call it 70 circle. I took it with me, and that was, like, the only thing I took. Which I usually don't even take things like that. Even if it's, like, spiritual woohoo stuff like that, I really would feel guilty. Yeah, I get it, computer. You're dying. You stupid. You got 20%. I'm just gonna eye it carefully. And edit this in postals. But the, nothing really happened and stuff like that. So I took the circle back with me and I propped it up in my altar in my room in college. No, wait, this was the year, yeah, this was 2018, because it was actually, Brandon wasn't a roommate yet. Brandon just hung out a bunch. It was our other roommate, Alexis, and it was that room. So it was like on-campus apartments that I was in during junior and sophomore year, which is definitely like a dorm in as much as we had an RA and it was on campus, but it was like a full apartment with a kitchen and 2 bathrooms and stuff like that. It was an apartment, just with college rules. And so in junior year, one of our friends, Alexis, was the RA, and she was in the theater program, so we all just kind of stayed together. But senior year, we had, well, Alexis graduated because she was a year older, and then Rebecca and Brandon started dating, so they were roommates at that point. But I set up an altar in both apartments, but that one, and I placed 70 circle in the middle, and I think the most I ever got was just like a feeling of this, like, I don't know, like, I don't do spirit channeling. I don't ever claim to have that ability, and that is just way above my wheelhouse. So if something was haunted with a spirit, I couldn't tell you what was, like, in it. But that being said, if I had to guess, it was definitely, like, an old soul. Like, everything that it was dealing with in the apartment at that point was just completely out of its wheelhouse. It never interacted around me, but it did around Rebecca and Brandon, because Rebecca got the feeling that she was being watched more, and then the parking thing where every time she's like, can I have the parking? She found it because of channeling the spirit. Brandon got all the cupboards closing and the cold chills in the hallway and stuff getting knocked over randomly. And I don't know why, and I hope it's not racism. But if it's an older ghost, you can never be too sure. Which is like, okay, no, that kind of was a joke, but like, I don't feel like a lot of ghosts aren't racist if they were people who died back in days in time where people were racist. And so, like, I imagine to a degree, maybe that's why Brandon saw the ghost most. Especially since when Will was there, he was, like, really afraid of it and avoided it, but didn't feel anything. And I'm sitting here actively doing all the witchy things and not feeling anything. And Brandon is a person of color. And it's, like, very, I don't know, weird that I couldn't get a reaction out of it, but Brandon saw things more. Or maybe it's just, like, Brandon's in tune with that sort of thing. I don't want to really jump into that being the only explanation. I imagine some people are more in tune with it. I remember Brandon had a story about seeing something when he was growing up, and like not every guest does. So maybe that's a degree to it, but that's 70 Circle. The ending of it, this is not the most interesting story. I'm just spitting things off the top of my head, but that story ended with me one day getting the feeling that I had to take it to the woods. So I went to Bald Mountain State Recreation Area, but the south unit, not the one where I saw the dog man. And I just kind of like found a clearing way off the trail by a little pond that I liked, and I propped it there and I left it, and then every time I went back ever since then it was just completely gone, so I never found it again. I like to imagine that it was at peace, but I hope somebody didn't steal it. Not that I like ever got any ghost stuff, but I feel like there was a spirit attached to that one. There was a Santa painting that Rebecca brought up too, that somebody who I will not name names took from a Ramshorn restaurant, just took it off the wall and went home. Because this man, who I will say has never been on the podcast, has a habit of taking things from public places and bringing them home. Much in the same way, I think, because this was a different apartment at this point in time. This was not junior year of college. This was the summer after graduation. Not my graduation, because I had to take a summer class for my gen eds. But, like, it was in a different apartment. It was, like, an actual apartment that we rented and stuff like that. And it was much of the same. Like, this person and Brandon had the ghost stuff happen to them more. Rebecca and I didn't have it as much, nor did anybody else I know. And it was nothing more than, like, cold chills, feeling watched, weird feeling, cupboards knocking over, cups closing, things like that. I know what I said. That was one that our other friend Will, who didn't live with us but still hung out with us, I think he like punched a hole in it or something and then threw it. It was just a painting of Santa. It definitely came from like a fucking Kirkland's or something, but he didn't change the fact that he demolished it. So that, oops, potentially. And I guess those are the stories of the apartment ghosts that somebody wanted me to bring up. Not the most interesting thing ever, but it's interesting to think about. I do feel bad about the Santa painting, but it wasn't defaced when I was there, so I couldn't have done anything. Don't deface things if they're haunted. It will only go poorly. And I don't know this is a fact, but I imagine if there's a spirit attached to it and you destroy the thing, it's getting released into your space now. So now it's angrier at you and also in your space instead of in an object that you can move out of your space. And I also imagine that the lack of respect that would make the spirit mad at you. And who's to say if either of these objects had spirits? But I'm Forseti Fox, and I don't give a fuck, and I believe in this sort of thing. The last thing I wanted to talk about, though, in terms of actual paranormal stuff that I personally have experienced, was when I was growing up. And it's been brought up on the podcast by Colin Evans and also my siblings and Jacob Evans. Because it was Jacob's house. Jacob's house is at the edge of like the smallest woods ever, but the Coopy's Woods in Schoolcraft, Michigan, which is like maybe 4 or 5 or 6 blocks long or something, but I never actually counted. But Coopy's Woods was kind of really haunted, but in the way where I'm like an 8 through 16-year-old, and this is the sort of thing I choose to believe in because I'm really young and in school and stuff. They definitely... Oh, what are you doing, you silly computer? We got 18 battery. We're good. The, interesting thing about Coopy's Woods is that the woods were haunted, but in a different way than Jacob's house that was haunted. Because Jacob's house had the thing happen where, like, doors would open and shut very quickly on their own. Cold spots would be felt everywhere. Toys would randomly turn on and off, and electronics would get fucking weird. Those are the things I remember. I even remember, like, a babysitter of the Evanses, or, like, because they have a younger sister, would talk to me about that sort of thing, and he would have toys go on and stuff. I think his name was Sam, but I don't remember, and I haven't kept in contact with him for years, so I don't know. But, the house was haunted with the classic stuff. I never saw any spirits, and I actively played hide and seek in there so much But that being said, that was like one of the only places that I have ever gotten a hit with a Ouija board in. I'm pretty sure it's the only place I've ever gotten a hit with the Ouija board. Where actually the ghost told us that his name was Sam, but then he routinely lied about Schoolcraft's historical facts, because we had the historical book right there, and would just spot nonsense and go to random letters all the time. I know Jacob was a participant with that, and our other friend, I don't remember, but that was, like, I got Ouija board stuff off of it. Nobody flew off the tables and stuff, but it did move. Maybe somebody was fucking with us, but I feel like if you're gonna fuck with us, you're gonna go to the standard. I died tragically. Like, they were just doing random letters and saying things that were very blasé, which is so weird. I was like blasé things like, what street did you live on? And they would just like name a street that wasn't in Schoolcraft, or like, how did you die? And I think it was like, just it fell off of a ladder. I don't actually remember now that I'm thinking about it, but I'm pretty sure it was falling off of a ladder or something, like a minor house accident or something. So like, it was, I don't know, the Ouija board lying, and then standard ghost fare, but never anything visual. That is until you go to the woods bordering in the backyard. Now the woods in Jacob's house are two totally different properties. We went into the woods fully trespassing on their neighbor's land. I wasn't boarding the woods. But the woods had like a couple of landmarks, and I remember them specifically when I was young. There was a tree that was bent in an arch because there was a tornado that went through, so you could walk up and down the arch even though it wasn't crossing anything. There was like divots in the ground, like somebody drove a truck or something through the woods, but it was like trees were in between the sprockets and stuff, so we always called it the wagon trail, because it was like, okay, this had to be made when wagons were a thing, because the trees are in between the tracks are really tall. Although we never found what it led to. There was a small pond / lake or a body of water in between that length. There was people's houses and stuff like that. Oh, nobody made a tree house. I made that up. That's a different forest. But yeah, it was just like stuff like that we always kept track of. I'd make little maps of it. The thing that with that woods was that the landmarks would switch locations sometimes. I could be a dumb kid, but it's like less than a mile wide, so I feel like if you're gonna be able to find something in the woods, it'll be very easy. But sometimes the landmarks get switched up. And I remember specifically we were playing hide and seek at Jacob's house, like in his yard and stuff, and I was a little cheater and I went to the woods like an asshole. And it wasn't night or anything, it was like the middle of the day. But I remember getting to the lake, and it's like a 7-minute walk or something. But when I was coming back, I'm pretty sure you could see the road at any point in time that goes south of the woods. But as soon as I was trying to make my way back, I didn't like see plants die or anything, but like I suddenly noticed that in the middle of summer all of the trees had no leaves, and the sky was like sunset red even though it was noon, and it was just trees and I couldn't see past it, and I walked for like 10 minutes in one direction and I never got anywhere until I was like freaking out. I was like, what is happening? And then I eventually made it to the backyard, and I don't remember anything changing back. It was just like a lost moment. And like, and I got back and people were like, oh, you were gone for 10 minutes. So it wasn't like there was lost time or anything, but I remember like the woods changed while I was around, and it was like, it kept me trapped there for a bit, but then I got let go. And that was definitely the weirdest thing that happened. It was the only thing that happened to me. Other things that happened were like when it was like winter one year and we were walking through the woods just because we like doing ghosty things, and there were footsteps, and it was probably just like a dude in the woods. Like, I don't think you can hunt there, but I imagine people are like walking around for normal reasons. And my siblings saw a dude in a black coat, but like Jacob and I never saw it. Or Jacob's sibling Colin and my sibling Alex saw like a dude in a black coat, but we never saw it. But it could be just them being dumbasses and making it up. Oh, there was one point where me and Jacob were at the lake and we heard like a woman scream, like it was maybe 100 feet away or something, like not very far at all, but we never saw anybody. That was just a very isolated case where it's like, scream, I don't hear anything. I could have sworn sometimes I saw the Evanses' deceased dog Pepper, but that only happened like a couple times, and it was in summer where there's like thick brush and it could have been any animal, but I thought I saw a black dog in the wood a couple times. Pepper was a black, I think Australian sheepdog. I don't remember. We saw Pepper, or I saw Pepper a couple times, but that was just a me thing. I don't think anything else is coming to mind, but I just remember those woods being, like, when I was young, I was like, this is haunted as fuck. And obviously, this is years and years in the past, so this is my memory, and I could just be remembering things poorly or kind of romanticizing them, because I have a habit of doing that. The reason I didn't bring up these stories is because I'm like, my memory is kind of dubious on this. I'll just let it be a fun little kids thing. But, like, maybe there's something to it. I haven't been in those woods, like, since college, obviously. There's no reason to walk through them. I'm very close to them when I go home, because it's like I live a block away from Jacob, but it's not like I'm going to go randomly through some woods by myself with no trail. And it's, like, very easy to see me there. Obviously, I haven't gone to Jacob's parents' house either in a while, because he's got an apartment, or, like, he's got a house and stuff, so, like, I don't know why I'd go to his parents' house. I would, personally. I mean, I don't know why I would, personally, so that's... I haven't gone back there. Yeah, those are my ghost stories. Those are, like, a bit blasé, but I like to think about them in terms of, like, how I hear other ghost stories and see ghosts operate. I like to see the patterns and stuff. All of them are dubious at best. Like, I don't think I have a single definite story that I'll back till the end of my days. But there's details that pop up, and it's just a nice thing to keep track of. Obviously, I've been in the habit of just going to the most haunted fucking places lately. Like, I'm in Wisconsin recording this right now, and, like, on the way to... I had to leave this house because they're moving here, and, at one point I went to a hotel, and I was like, fuck it, we're going to Elkhorn. Or, I stayed at a hotel in Whitewater, but I just drove around Bray Road at night for, like, a sec. Without getting out, because that's trespassing, and they call the cops, like, in 5 seconds right there. But this happened just, like, a couple days ago, actually. Because it's Tuesday now, and I did it on Friday. I just drove around trying to find the Beast of Bray Road, but I didn't see anything. Going to Paris Chenet was an example of me trying to poke at a ghost. Definitely Hell's Bridge was. Glowing Tombstone. I like going to haunted places. I'm, like... craving to have another shot at a ghost experience, because every time I've had a definite one, I am in a daze. I am disoriented, and now that I've been into this more and I'm hearing more stories, I want to practice the willpower to see a supernatural occurrence with full lucidity, because I genuinely think that there's a component to a majority of ghost stories where somebody's brain gets fucking turned off by whatever's showing itself. Be it like abject fear and you gotta run away, or just like a complete stupor that you'll do anything. And that happened to me. That happened to me with the dog man. It happened to me with Thelma. And the more I try to insert myself in these situations, not only the more I can like hope to learn about the paranormal world and just like the world in general, just through like sheer experience alone, but the more I can practice the willpower that it takes to witness something like this, and not just study it to be like, ooh, I'm fighting golden weirdness and getting past it, but like seeing the scenarios where something's weird, unexplainable, and treating it like I'm having a lucid dream for once, because I always feel like I'm not having a lucid dream. I always feel like I'm having a dream. Is it an obsession? Yeah, probably, but you know, this is my podcast, and this is my project, and like, I care about it. I want to, like, share these stories. I want to have, like, a fun, good old time. But I genuinely, more than anything, want to discover something to the supernatural. Some fundamental truth to the existence of a ghost. Or some irrefutable proof that an alien works in this way. And if I learn through the process of this that none of this is real, then I only gain knowledge. That being said, a lot of weird things happen. And a lot of weird things happen outside of the realm of our current understanding of science. And just by sheer studying this alone, I'm not going to get a hypothesis in order to try to establish these things. But I only hope to, like, normalize this sort of exploration so that way people with the scientific credentials can actually learn something about the world through it. Skepticism is good, because there's a lot of liars and there's a lot of people that got drunk and saw something, and there's a lot of stories that aren't great. Hell's Bridge, for example, is a horrible story, and that place is the least haunted place in the world. But if I, like, go to one haunted place and see one ghost, and, like, maybe have a conversation, I hope, but even if I just see something pass through a wall, I feel like I'd learn something. That's why I like this project. And I'm happy to be vaccinated and able to go to haunted places again. This is like, at best, it's like a fun ghost story that keeps you up at night maybe, and definitely keeps you up because I'm, air quotes, a comedian, and you're going to think about a joke and you're like, oh, I remember that joke, it's funny. But I don't remember what qualifier I used to describe what I was saying. But at oppositist, I think lowest, or at least, or whatever, I hope that we learn something about ghosts. I hope that we learn something about cryptids. And I hope that society learns something just through the shared interest in the subject of the supernatural in general. I feel like the more you approach the world without assuming you know everything, the more you learn. And the more that you'll learn, even as opposed to somebody 100 years ago, with the limited, not only knowledge, but the limited mindset that what knowledge can be. It sounds like I'm not sober when I'm saying these things. I totally am. But with that, I think I got really philosophical, and I'm just gonna do a little outro now. So, what do I have to... that was a good episode. Thanks again to Maegan and Alex for being the host, or the co-host for this once again. They're lovely, and also my siblings, so I'm obligated to say that by societal contract. But besides that, I would like to thank Son El Chiquito, Twitter user, for the podcast artwork. This is not an album. And all researching, editing, music, and when I talk is done by yours truly, me. Have a good night, everybody, and thank you for listening.